Namaste. You know, in the West, we often encounter resistance when we talk about the idea of guru. You know, we aren't comfortable with the idea of surrendering our egos and ourselves. And so like spoiled little brats, like little children, we don't want anyone telling us what to do. Well, of course, these are simply the ego mind fighting back and making excuses for our lack of commitment to the Dharma. You see, the more serious we are, the more serious a student is, the easier it is to surrender the ego. So the less serious, of course, that student is going to be compelled to argue with even the smallest of points anytime the teacher speaks. Now, whenever we call to mind the importance of guru, we should recognize that what the guru actually is Dharmakaya, that transcendent wisdom of the perfected bliss of non-dualistic awareness of all the Buddhas. We call this the absolute guru. Now, in our lives, the absolute guru will manifest itself in many forms according to our karma and the specific needs of that time. That's why we call when we call to mind the absolute guru, we do that by engaging in practices like the Migsema prayer. And the Migsema prayer, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, is a prayer that we begin and we end our practice with. And that prayer is Jetsong Kappa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are the Buddha, Shakyamuni, and Vajradhara. You are the source of all attainments. You are Avalokiteshvara, the treasure of unobservable compassion. You are Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom, and Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hosts of Maras. O venerable Guru and Buddha, synthesis of all three jewels, with my body, my speech, and my mind, respectfully I make these requests. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow upon the common and supreme attainments for each of us. And so we repeat this prayer 3 times. And simply by reciting that prayer, simply by putting our whole selves into that recitation at the beginning or the end of your practice, you begin to transform your mind. It takes you from the feral and unsubdued state of ignorance and unawareness to a clarity that is beyond compare. You'll begin to realize and recognize that the gurus with whom you have Dharma contact on a daily basis are there for you. You begin to recognize who some of those gurus are. And it opens your mind to receive the nectar of their transcendental wisdom, which is wisdom of all the Buddhas combined. Now, the unskilled or untrained mind will see the guru as just another person. And as such, they engage in a sort of a battle of your ego against their ego because your ego gets threatened by this stronger person, this stronger being. And so there's a tragic waste whenever we look at the guru and we say they're just an individual person separate from the Buddha mind. But when you deepen your practice, when you begin to still and calm yourself and come back to the moment, then you begin to understand your mind itself becomes subdued. You begin to see more clearly. And especially through the practice of the 7-pointed mind training, you begin to recognize the absolute guru manifesting in physical form as your teacher and in other ways in your life. And you recognize your teacher as being inseparable from the perfect mind of all Buddhas, the Dharmakaya. And this itself will cultivate the state of constant awareness that your teacher is a direct manifestation of the Buddha mind for you. Now, only when you've achieved this state of calm awareness, this state of clarity, can you begin to really practice Guru Yoga. And only when you begin to practice Guru Yoga will you be ready to receive the higher teachings of highest Yoga Tantra. And so there's good reason for us to engage in Guru Yoga. There's good reason for us to recognize the Guru as Dharmakaya. And so that begins the first step in our study of these Lamrim teachings. Namaste.